In previous videos, we looked at how to solve algebraic expressions. So now we are going to use what we have learned to solve real-life problems, and that is by forming equations. So, for example, we have an equation like this. Okay, so this is a equation where you have both sides of the equation, and there is one unknown, in this case x. So x is one of the most common ways we denote a unknown, but of course if you have a question that doesn't specify that you use x, you can also use y. Okay, it doesn't matter, because all you want to know is to find the unknown figure, which is this one. So to understand how we can solve such equations, you can actually imagine using a balance beam. So a balance beam will only balance, that means it will not topple onto one side, if both sides have equal weights. So this is what you know about balance beams. So this side must be as heavy as this side, or else it will balance. So it's exactly the same in terms of equation. The left hand side, or we call it LHS for short, must be equals to the right hand side, or else the equation doesn't make sense. Okay, so knowing that, let's have an example. Say let's do 4 plus 2x equals to 8. So on this balance beam, on one side you have 4, you can imagine it as 4 kg. So you have 4 blocks of 1 kg, and you have 2 blocks of unknown weight, which is x. Okay, and on the other side you have 8 blocks of 1 kg. Okay, let's draw quickly, just 8 blocks. Yeah. Okay, so it balances at this moment of time. So what we want to find out is how heavy, or what is the weight of x. So if I take 1 kg away from here, this balance will definitely topple onto the right side, because the right side is heavier by 1 kg now, because you remove 1 kg from the left. So if you remove 1 kg from the left, you must remove 1 kg from the right. So how we want to solve the value of x is we want to take away the things we know. So in this case, let's take away all 4 kgs. From here, we can take all 4 kgs away. So this equation then becomes 2x equals to 4, because you have minus away 4 from the left hand side of the equation, and you minus 4 from the right hand side of the equation. So now we have a beam of 2 blocks of x, and on one side, and on the other side it's 4 boxes of 1 kg. So next, since I only want to find out the weight of 1x, so all I have to do is I have to divide half of this amount, so that only 1 block remains. And what happened on the right hand side, I must do the same as well, so that it will balance. So I remove half as well. So this half is removed, this half is removed. I divide by 2 on both sides. Then you realize on the beam you only have 1 block of x, and you have 2 blocks of 1 kg. So in this case, you know that x equals to 2. So this is how you can visualize your questions and solving equations with one unknown. So when we say one unknown, it means the equation you start with only have one variable. So if you have an equation like 4 plus x plus y equals to 4, then we will use another method. But right now we are just looking at how you use the beam to solve equations with one unknown. So now we'll look at some trickier cases. So let me just remove this. And the first case we're going to look at is when equations have brackets. So for example, I have this question and this equation. So the question asks you to solve this equation. Okay. So what you have to do now first is to remove the brackets to sort of expand out the both sides. So in this case, you multiply in to both, you get 5x plus 5, and here you multiply in, you get 12x plus 36. So from here you can then solve using the same method that we showed you just now. So for example, I can minus 5 on both sides. So if on the left hand side we minus 5, the right hand side we also have to minus 5. So it becomes 5x equals to 12x plus 31, which is 36 minus 5. Okay, so next thing we can do is we can minus 5x from both sides. So it becomes 0. It becomes 7x plus 31. So you know that 7x equals to minus 31, because if you minus 31 from both sides, so 0 minus 31 equals to minus 31. 7x minus 31, 7x plus 31 minus 31, it becomes 7x. So it doesn't matter which side is on, it doesn't matter if you switch something from the right side to the left and then left goes to the right, because ultimately a balanced beam will balance as long as the value is the same. So then you can realize that is minus 31 divided by 7, because you can divide by 7 on both sides. So another tricky situation that you have, or you can see, is when you have simple fractional equations. So let's take an example: 3 over y plus 4 equals to 2 over y. So we have a question like this. So the idea is to sort of remove the denominators and the fraction to make it like full numbers, so that it's easier for you to solve. And the easiest way is to multiply by the denominators on both sides. So let's do it step by step. Let's multiply both sides by y plus 4. So if left hand side you multiply plus y plus 4, so you get 3 over y plus 4 multiplied by y plus 4 equals to 2 over y multiplied by y plus 4, because you have to multiply both sides. So what happens is you cancel this off, because it's the same. So because this over this is equals to 1, so you get 3 on the left side, you get 2 over y bracket y plus 4. So we still have a denominator which we want to get rid of, so we multiply both sides by y again. So you get 3y equals to 2 bracket y plus 4, and then you can expand it, and then you can find find the answer of y, right? So these are two of the cases. So let's now look at how this can be applied to real life or real life examples. So let's look at this example. So 3 people, Mr. X, Mr. Y, and Mr. Z, have a total of $300. So Mr. Y has twice as much as Mr. X. Mr. Z has $20 less than Mr. X. So how much does each person have? So how do we solve a problem like this? So the first thing you need to do is to determine the unknown. Which value do you want it to be the unknown? So in this case, because both Mr. Y has the reference done to Mr. X, and Mr. Z also has reference to Mr. X, so it's easy for us to choose Mr. X amount, the amount of money that Mr. X have, amount of money Mr. X has, to be the unknown X, and then we make reference of both the amount Mr. Y has and Mr. Z has. So if you make the wrong if you make another assumption, if you let X be the amount Mr. Y have, you'll probably still get the answer, and that's probably true for most questions, just that sometimes if you choose the wrong amount, the wrong unknown, the working may be more tedious. But that is something you have to do more practice on, then you will find what is the correct amount and get a better sense of which to use as the unknown. So in this case, so now that we have determined unknown as the amount that Mr. X has as X, so the total we know of 3 people is $300, or 3 people. So Mr. X, because Mr. X has X amount of dollars, because that's the unknown we set, the baseline. And we know that Mr. Y has twice of Mr. X, so it's 2 times X. Okay, this is the amount Mr. Y has. And Mr. Z has $20 less than Mr. X, so it's X minus 20. So this amount equals to 300 based on the question, because Mr. Mr. Y and Mr. Z has the total of $300. So from here you can then solve your equation. So x plus 2x plus x equals to 4x, and 300 equals to 4x minus 20. So you add 20 to both sides, you get 280 on the left hand side. Wrong, you get 320 on the left hand side, and you get 4x. So you divide 4 on both sides, you get x equals to 320 over 4 equals to 80. So by using a simple equation with one unknown, you are able to solve questions like this. And that is how you use algebra in this instance.